Stuka would give her life for me without hesitation. But when can I legally defend hers? Protecting good dogs and defending against bad dogs. Today on the AK Show. This is Alex AK Kincaid. Welcome to the AK Show. You're walking your dog. Pitbull comes running at you. Can you shoot the pitbull?
I don't think, in all honesty, that it's the animal's fault. It depends on the way the animal's been trained.
Right.
Okay.
But how are you going to protect yourself from the pitbull?
I'd probably reach out and grab a hold of it and put it on the ground.
Okay. What if the pitbull's coming at your dog?
He's got a severe problem like that.
He's what?
He would have a severe problem like that.
Okay. What would you shoot the dog to protect your own dog?
Yes, I would.
What if you hit the owner that's standing behind the pitbull?
They should have been controlling their animal better.
Okay.
I mean, well, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
if you're going to have a dog and the dog is not trained to listen to your commands and stuff like that,
Right.
and when you tell it no, down, out, whatever the case may be,
Right.
the animal should follow your instructions completely.
And you feel like a lot of people, and I feel like my dog is its family, and I would actually probably be more proactive in protecting my dog than I would myself in that situation.
Well, okay, my dog is like my best friend. I mean,
Right.
she goes everywhere with me. She does everything with me. She hunts with me. Okay, she goes to all my hunter education classes with me. I mean, that's my partner.
Right.
Okay, and if somebody was going to hurt my dog, needless to say, that would probably be one of the worst things that you could do.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to say that, I wouldn't defend myself or something like that, but hurting my animal, no.
Not going to happen.
No, wouldn't happen at all.
Okay. Like many dog owners, I feel that my dog wouldn't hesitate to protect me if she thought she needed to. She wouldn't start a fight, but if I was being attacked, she wouldn't hesitate to end one either. So let's say I'm out with Stuka and we're taking a walk and here comes a pit bull. Pit bull's running at me. Is it going to attack her? Is it going to attack me? I've got a handgun on my body that I could pull. I could defend myself. I could defend her. When can I legally do that? And we recently had a case that was in the newspaper here locally, very similar to those facts. What's the legal analysis?
Well, I think the first thing that's important to realize is, although we feel like they're a member of the family, dogs are property. They are not people. You cannot use lethal force, to defend their lives like you could a person.
Very hard for me as a dog
Right.
owner who loves my dog to hear, and very hard for many people to understand because they feel like family.
But I think it goes more than that, because you could be opening yourself up to a lot of actual potential to be charged.
Right, right. And of course, I want to defend her. I want to defend myself, but it's not going to do a whole lot of good if I wind up in jail in the process.
Right.
Right?
Right. And there was another case recently where there was a dog a pit bull actually, that ran the streets. And so this guy saw it running the streets and thought he had enough of that problem and just shot it. But that dog had not attacked him yet, and he was charged in that case.
Right, so the shooter's charged.
Right.
Because you cannot maliciously, in almost every state, you cannot maliciously hurt another animal. And so we're really talking about the same standard
Right.
that we analyze all the time when human beings are involved
Right.
in use of deadly force. Before you pull your firearm, are you justified in using deadly force? And in this case in Meridian, the biggest problem that we read in the newspaper article was that the guy accidentally hit the owner.
Right. Because
So-
sometimes you may be justified, and if a dog's attacking your dog, maybe you can lawfully shoot that dog. But you better make sure you know what you're shooting and what's behind that dog, because if you shoot an innocent person behind that, you could have some serious problems.
Now you could potentially be looking at negligent homicide, maybe something worse, depending on the facts and the situation.
It can be very problematic.
There was a guy in Portland recently, too, who he thought the better tactic was to fire a warning shot and scare the
Right,
dog.
right.
What happened to him?
Well, and that's even worse because that's illegal.
Right.
You can't do that either.
And we tell people
Yeah.
that every day in
Right.
this office. Firing a warning shot is actually more problematic for your case than
Right.
if you shoot the person and say, my life was in danger, I had no choice but to use deadly force. And we're actually analyzing the situation with the dog in a very similar way, because it's always going to come down to, one of us is in trial, we're talking to the jury, are we going to be able to convince the jurors that if they had been standing in your shoes, they would have done the same thing, meaning your behavior was reasonable.
I think it's hard in that case because they also put themselves in the shoes of that person who got shot
Right.
because you shot through their dog and hit them.
Exactly.
And I think that's a problem.
Exactly.
That's scary.
So don't be too quick. You have to, again, I say don't be too quick, but you've got about 2 or 3 seconds to
Right.
make this decision.
Right.
Take training and think about this,
Yeah.
as always, and consider all of the circumstances around you as quickly and as accurately as you can. Again, it's
Right.
the same kind of an assessment as if you're talking about using deadly force against a human being. Are you going to be able to articulate later on that your life was in danger? What
Right.
about the breed of the dog? How does that come into the picture?
Well, I think it does because people have this, whether it's irrational or rational, fear of certain breeds because they're violent breeds. So whether it's, pit bulls or chow chows or whatever.
Or my sweet angel German
Yeah,
Shepherd.
because they are attack dogs.
Right.
And so
Right.
people have that fear, and I think especially now the situation changes is what if you have a dog and a small child?
Right.
Then it morphs. So,
But if you're walking
Yeah.
down the street in that situation that I gave in the beginning,
Right.
and here comes a Chihuahua barking at me, screaming,
Right.
I'm not going to be able to pull out my gun and get away with shooting the Chihuahua.
No.
The breed of the dog, again, is going to be one fact that goes into that analysis on whether or not your behavior was in fact reasonable.
Right.
So, was your life in danger? And I think this case that we're talking about that happened locally, where the owner was accidentally hit, one question that I would have as a prosecutor and as
Right.
defense attorney would be, well, is that person who actually pulled the gun going to be able to articulate that he believed the pit bull was going to attack him as well, and therefore he was justified in using deadly force, and that was an accidental shooting? He's probably still going to be in trouble.
Right, absolutely. So it might be better to not only have some kind of training so you can avoid these situations, maybe be able to disengage. There were some police officers who were showing videos of this is how to disengage fighting dogs without using lethal force.
Right.
Or carrying a non-lethal weapon to, like, pepper spray.
Exactly, exactly. And you have to be prepared. People think about pepper spray and they think, oh, that's for people who don't carry a firearm. They don't, for whatever reason, the firearm isn't for them. But pepper spray actually has a very solid, grounded use in this type of situation because you can deflect, you can eliminate the threat, really, with that pepper spray when we're talking
Right.
about a dog attack many, many times.
Yep. And you're not risking shooting someone if you're in a
Right.
neighborhood or something.
Because, as always, hitting an innocent is a problem.
Right.
And if that happens, you're probably going to be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, not a whole lot of sympathy, I know, for the people who own breeds like pit bulls that are not under their
Right.
control and running at you. And again, as I said in the beginning, the thought of a pit bull coming at me and attacking my dog makes me want to do everything I can to protect not only myself, but my dog as
Right.
well. But you have to stop and think about when you can actually legally
Right.
engage in the use of deadly force, whether it's against another human being or against an animal.
Right.
So, thanks for the discussion.
Anytime.
This is Alex, A.K. Kincaid, and thank you for watching the AK Show.